everybody. How are you doing on this fine Wednesday? I'm doing quite well, all things considered. I mean, I really wish Lima would stop frivolously, meritlessly suing me, but that's what we're here today to talk about. Oh, Lord. All right. So I want this video to be kind of like a TLDR, like you don't know anything at all about what's going on and you can just watch this video and then you'll know. Rando from Iowa, thank you very much for being a member for 4 whole months. Happy Valentine's Day to those who celebrate. Hello, Oklahoma Outlaw. Hey, Monica and Silly Pony mods. I see y'all in the chat. Tinkle Tits, Samantha Lindsay, Fabulous Fab. Hello, hello, hello. Hello from the mothership. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, yep. Member for 2 months. Here we go. Okay, so there's going to be a lot I'll leave out here today. Like I said, I just wanted to be a little bit of a TLDR. I don't want to be on here for long because I may be going live again later tonight with Prim. We did start our new channel, but there's like some type of restriction when you just start a channel. You have to wait like so many hours before you can go live. So we may be going live today, maybe not. But we may also have another, BJ Investigates coming out tonight. I'll let y'all know. But to the point of why we're here today. So back in August 2022, I was sued for defamation. The person who sued me is Bam Margera's former guardian. Her name's Lima Yevremovich, but it's unclear what her name really is. Lima Yevremovich, Lima Omar, Lima Mora, Lima Takali, Lima Mora. Who knows? Who really knows? But according to her name, Lima Yevremovich. This person had also appeared, Lima, had also appeared on Mark Leita's channel, Soft White Underbelly, to advertise her digital health virtual reality startup company. Now, what her company did was apparently, I never really saw it in action, but what she claimed that her company did was manufacture software that could be used with virtual reality goggles to somehow treat certain mental health disorders, including eating disorders, substance use disorders, PTSD. She said you can go and look at her own words. Those videos are still up on Soft White Underbelly, but she did appear on the channel with Mark Leita on Soft White Underbelly to advertise for her company. Her company is called AURA, A-U-R-A, and that is short for Autonomous User Rehabilitation Agent. Okay. Well, Lima, back in like 2020, I believe it was, might have been 2021, whatever the case, but I think it was 2021, May 2021. One of the people who Lima had taken over this person's treatment, which I don't know how many people she's served as a guardian for or anything like that, but Lima went on Mark Leita's channel to say she wanted to get a guardianship or a conservatorship, same thing, over this subject, this person who had already been on the Soft White Underbelly channel. So the person had been on the Soft White Underbelly channel, her name's Amanda. Lima wanted to get a guardianship, aka conservatorship, over this woman, Amanda. The woman's issues included that she was allegedly addicted to substances, crack in particular. She was working as a worker on Skid Row and had struggled with symptoms of schizophrenia, allegedly. Now, this is all stuff that they said publicly. I'm just re-reporting it to you. So Lima tries to get a conservatorship, LPS conservatorship, over this woman, Amanda. She's a 25-year-old woman, the subject, right? The person who was going to be going into treatment. Lima was unsuccessful in getting the conservatorship, but she did manage to get the court to order 1 year of mandatory treatment for Amanda Rabb. That's the 25-year-old. Well, Amanda did not survive long enough to finish the 1 year rehab program that was court ordered. Now, how did she die? You might be wondering. That's exactly what I was wondering. So I kept watching Mark Leita's videos that he had posted of Lima. And there was a video actually that had already been posted in December 2021. The video was entitled Autopsy Results Amanda, or Amanda's Autopsy Results Lima. Okay, so Lima gets on the autopsy results video. Still to this day, the video is entitled Amanda's Autopsy Results Lima, right? So Lima showing up to tell people, the interested public that she had made be interested because she specifically availed herself to the public, how Amanda died. And she's, all upset and stuff, which understandable if she actually did care about Amanda, which I don't know if she did or didn't, but maybe she actually did. And she's all upset and she's like, I'm just going to read it word for word of what we got. Okay, so obviously implying to the audience that she was going to be reading Amanda Rabb's autopsy results, right? She's holding papers in her hand. She looks down at him after saying, I'm just going to read word for word of what we got. And she says, Amanda's cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder. Then she goes on to say if there was more evidence, then they would have marked it as a homicide, which is alarming to say the least. Well, okay, fine. She died from a seizure disorder. I kind of had questions, right? Like, should they have been using virtual reality technology on a woman who had a seizure disorder? Probably not. But I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I am not a doctor. I'm not a mental health professional at all whatsoever. I don't know. So what I do when I don't know is I go and check the public record. Now, the state that Amanda had died in was actually Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada. And that's weird because she was court ordered to go to treatment in the state of California. So why they transferred her across state lines to give her treatment in a different state, your guess is as good as mine. But she did not die in California. She died in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I was working with an investigation team at the time. They were volunteering to help because they were also concerned about this issue and they were supporting my work. And with the help of this team, we requested anyone could do this. You could do this today, right now, if you wanted to, the autopsy results for Amanda, just to kind of see what was really going on. Because Lima said, I'm going to read word for word of what we got from the autopsy results. So when I requested those, or whenever we, all requested them together, I was expecting to see something about a seizure disorder, since Lima said she was reading word for word of what they got on the autopsy report. I know a lot of y'all already know this story, but like I said, I want it to be a quick and fast version, right? Another thing I ended up finding out. Oh, so let me finish that part. Okay. So when I finally received the public record autopsy result for Amanda Rabb, it was redacted. There was a lot of stuff blacked out that I don't know what it says. But one thing that was not redacted, that it said very clearly, was Amanda's cause of death. And her cause of death, to my absolute and utter shock and surprise, didn't say one word about a seizure disorder, nothing about a seizure, nothing about epilepsy, none of that. It said her cause of death was cardiac arrhythmia. And it said, there were some complicating or contributing factors, and those were obesity, schizophrenia, and hypertension, which is, I think, high blood pressure. So schizophrenia, obesity, and high blood pressure were the contributing factors that led her to experience cardiac arrhythmia, which caused her death, according to a medical examiner. I am not a medical examiner. I was reading from the public report. So that was alarming and shocking as well, because Lima had just months earlier gone on a channel with like 4 million subscribers or 3 million subscribers talking about the cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder. Okay, well, was the cause of death marked as a seizure disorder, or was the cause of death marked as cardiac arrhythmia? According to the public record that I received from the Clark County coroner, it wasn't a seizure disorder. So that was a big false statement at the very least. Gonna read word for word of what we got on a video called Autopsy Report Amanda or whatever. I mean, it's pretty glaring, whatever you want to call it. Now, that wasn't the only issue. There was one other issue. Well, there's a lot of other issues. But with this Amanda Rabb thing, right? The woman had died in Lima's care from cardiac arrhythmia, not seizure disorder. So, also, over the course of Lima's several appearances on Soft White Underbelly, she also had appeared before the autopsy result video to talk about Amanda's death. And in that video, she said, they already did I know that they already did a toxicology report, and there was only thing in her system was Tylenol. Only thing in her system was Tylenol. A lady that died in a rehab. That didn't add up to me from what I know about rehabs. So, of course, in this autopsy result that did not say anything about a seizure disorder, I looked to see what drugs were in her system at the time that she died. And in fact, there was no Tylenol in her system. So not a true statement. Second of all, there was way more in her system than Tylenol, including GABA, and all kind of stuff. Y'all can go. I mean, I've made this publicly available many times. It was not a true statement. It was not a true statement. The statement was false when Lima said only thing she had in her system was Tylenol. And it was false for two reasons. First, there was no Tylenol in the system. Second, there was way more than just Tylenol in the system. Okay. So taking all these factors together, I'm very concerned because this woman is talking about wanting to do this for other people. She's characterizing what she did with Amanda as helping her and saving her life. She claimed with a straight face that she saved Amanda's life when Amanda didn't survive. Amanda's dead, but she's saying she saved her life. She helped Amanda so much. Now, to be abundantly clear, I'm not proposing or saying that Lima or her company or her program or any of it actively killed Amanda. What I'm saying is exactly what I'm saying. She wasn't honest. She wasn't truthful. The statements she made were untrue. She said Amanda had Tylenol in her system. She did not. She said she had nothing else in her system but Tylenol. That wasn't true. She had a lot more stuff in her system, according to the public reports. And her cause of death was not a seizure disorder. Her cause of death was cardiac arrhythmia. Okay. So on top of that, this woman ends up also, like I said, being Bam Margera's guardian. She's using Bam Margera's name and likeness to advertise her company, putting Bam Margera and his, at the time, I don't think they ever were married, but his purported wife, Nikki Margera, Bam and Nikki, on a billboard in the virtual reality rehab thing world that she had set up. It was like a Skid Row. Put a Bam Margera billboard in there. Tag Bam on Instagram. Thank you so much to Bam and Nikki for supporting Aura or whatever she had said. And on top of all that, I also find out very publicly that Lima has identical twin sisters who are a year or two younger than her. These identical twin sisters similarly suffer with a lot of problems. According to Lima, Lima went on Mark Latz's channel and talked about these sisters, talked about their mental health problems, gave specific diagnoses for them. They had schizophrenia. They had dissociative identity disorder. She's had to call the police on them. They've run away. Lima was on her Instagram account, public, advertising and saying that her sister had run away, saying that she was missing. Hashtag human trafficking. Hashtag kidnapped. Hashtag help me. Okay. These sisters are YouTubers. Come to find out, thousands of subscribers on their channel, and they've kind of just disappeared. They made a video one day, last video they made, never heard from them again. So they went from being kind of like public figures to like, where are they? Where'd they go? Here you have their sister, Lima, popping up out the woodwork to go on channels that have millions of subscribers. She partnered up and did collabs with Dissocia Did, huge YouTube channel, 16 Leo, huge YouTube channel. The twins had done partnerships and collaborations with huge YouTube channels and corporations, including 17 Magazine, including Brittany Louise Taylor, Olga K, huge YouTubers. The production value of the twins' videos was superb as well. They were doing like 360 VR type content. They were working with big actors from like The Hills or Laguna Beach or something. I mean, they were like quasi celebrities, and they just poof, they were just gone. Their sister was saying they went missing. CBS, or what was it? Yeah, local CBS News reported the sister missing. A local woman, Dahlia Chakali, is missing. She has developmental disability. So it's very public that these women existed and that they had gone missing more than once. Okay. So I start reporting on this, and just to tell people what I'm finding in the public record. And the most glaring thing for me is, where was Bam Margera at the time? No one had heard from him. Where are Dahlia and Dia? Because they have a propensity to go missing. And why wasn't Lima's statement about the cause of death and the drugs in the system a truthful statement? Why hasn't she ever come out? And if it was an accident, I even said, okay, why did you make the accident? Why haven't you told the truth to the public about actually the reason that she did die? She didn't come out and do any of that. Instead, she sued me in August 2022 for defamation and libel. Well, long story short, she lost that case, but it was without prejudice, and the judge gave her an opportunity to amend her statement or her filing, and that is still ongoing. But importantly, the judge did grant my motion to dismiss. Now, right around the time the judge granted my motion to dismiss in New Jersey, which is the state I live in, Lima, in my opinion, retaliated on the loss. And she was going to get her pound of flesh one way or another. She sued me then in California for a restraining order. Not only did she sue for a restraining order, but she asked the judge to restrain specifically my speech so that I cannot make statements about her online, despite the fact that she had intentionally availed herself to be a public figure, despite the fact that she had sued me. She wanted me to not be able to talk about being sued. She wanted me to not be able to talk about her family, her sisters, her husband, whatever. Well, she filled this restraining order request back in August 2023 with lies. It was full of lies, unsubstantiated lies that had no proof and no evidence for them. Lies, literally lies. One big claim she made was that I had shared her social security number, which I did not ever do intentionally. And I even asked her through my lawyers and stuff, look, I've never meant to share a social security number. I've looked through, Monica looked through, I think Christina looked through, a bunch of people looked through all my videos. I mean, hours and hours of work to find if I ever actually did share a social security number, which was never my intention. But they've still never once pointed to the place where I allegedly did that. So I maintain that I've never done that. But to be clear and to be fair, I have no intention to share somebody's social security number nor their phone number. So if I did do that, I would take that down. That's not the point. The point is, why didn't you tell the truth about how the girl died? Where are the sisters? Where is Bam? Right? That was the point. Well, she told the judge in this restraining order request that I was sharing private and personal information, medical information, private information. She doesn't even know how I got my hands on it. And it's like, girl, it's like literally somebody needs to tell her how FOIA works. I think she moved to the United States and somebody didn't make her take that test where you have to know like what goes on here with the First Amendment and stuff, because the girl does not seem to understand the First Amendment and someone needs to explain it to her. But instead, she has lawyers conspiring with her to act a damn fool. So just like in the New Jersey case, the California restraining order gets dismissed. Actually, gets more than dismissed. It gets struck from the record. Struck. And the reason that it was struck is because it was filed in violation of the California anti-SLAPP statute. Anti-SLAPP is a legislative statute, something the legislature passes, and I think it's like 30-something states now, so more than half of states have it. And it's specifically designed for situations such as this, where someone is exercising their rights to freedom of speech or freedom to protest or something like that, and they're sued for it. It happens a lot in defamation cases, and California, the state where she sued, has very strong anti-SLAPP law. It's very protective of the First Amendment. Thank you very much, Thea, for the super chat. Keep your foot on the net. That's why we're here today. That's why we're here today. Thank you for the super chat too. So we file, me and my lawyers or whatever, we file in the state of California an anti-SLAPP motion to strike her complaint because, first of all, every single thing I was reporting on was a public record. She's calling stuff private records when it's public. It's like just because she wants to act like she wants to redefine what a public record is. Like, if she has concerns with what the police shared with me, she should take it up with the police. She should take it up with the coroner. That I'm not doing with me. It's a public record given under literally, again, public records requests. So it couldn't have come to me unless it was a public record. So she was saying like, oh, I shared her phone number and I shared her home address and that was doxing. No, it wasn't. Lima unwisely used her home address as her business address. So in all these public filings that she made for her business, again, doesn't understand what's public and what's private, bless her heart, poor thing. I hope she learns. She made this information public herself. Okay. So In that first ruling by the judge, he noted that. He said, it looks like all the stuff she's talking about here is public records as far as all this private information. Like, y'all made it public, basically. And on top of that, a lot of the public records that I did receive, I didn't just straight up share them to YouTube or to social media. I redacted them myself. Y'all might recall that we did go over the body camera footage with Dahlia in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where one of Lima's sisters, excuse me, accused Lima's mother, Linda Omar, of sex trafficking. Okay, it's on body camera. Now, Lima and Linda, I guess, didn't like that I had posted the body camera footage, which was, again, a public record. And they complained to YouTube and they had the videos removed. I do still have those videos, and I'm happy to post them on a platform where, it's allowed. I don't want to break any rules. I'm not saying anything bad about anybody here. I'm just, whatever. Oh, the hair, and it's tickling me. Not saying anything bad about anything. I'm happy here trying to keep my spot and all that. But it was a public record. I'd gotten it from a public records request from the Tulsa, Oklahoma Police Department. And even though it was a public record, I went out of my way to actually put a big censor blob over Dahlia in both of the videos for almost the entire video. I did let her show for a couple seconds here and there just to show people, yes, this is Dahlia. Now, again, like I said, the judge did strike her complaint. There was, this restraining order that she had surreptitiously temporarily got was dismissed, was stricken, and all that. Well, she kind of indicated through her lawyer in court that she would appeal it, which she does have the right to do. Please carry on and all that. But under California's anti-SLAPP statute, it provides for the mandatory finding of attorney's fees. So when I won back in November, and it was finally entered in December, when I won the anti-SLAPP statute case, the judge was, basically required by statute to award me attorney's fees. And the only thing that was left to figure out was how many attorney's fees and how much money and all that. Well, as you can see by the title of this video and the thumbnail, that hearing was yesterday. The judge did award attorney's fees in the specific amount of, I think, $80,000 and something dollars, and then the costs were $7,000 something. So $87,000 now Lima is going to be required to pay. The story doesn't end there, though, and this is really the reason why I haven't provided updates on the case as of yet, since my last update, other than the fact that I'm tired and exhausted and working on other stuff, and I can't allow this to consume my entire life. But Lima, when she lost that second SLAPP suit and the first restraining order in California, when she lost the restraining order in California, instead of doing what she was supposed to do and just amending and just appealing the case to the appeals court, she went ahead through her lawyers and filed another attempt at a restraining order. Okay. Another attempt at a restraining order. This was last month she did this. She filed it with a different judge, which she should not have done because there was already a judge on the case. And she filed it without telling my lawyers and without telling me. So another secret, shady, surreptitious filing. Now, she slapped the word amendment on the top of it to make it seem like it was some type of amendment to a case that was already ongoing, which it's not. It's just an improper filing. It's like if y'all went and put your little sister's coloring book page under and put amendment. No. But in this amendment, in this second SLAPP suit, this second attempt at a temporary restraining order, she puts largely almost verbatim exactly the same stuff, except she's now added two, in my opinion, co-conspirators' declarations. Now, one of the declarations included is a familiar character, Brian Kuchar, who also, at the same time that Lima was doing all of this shit back in August when she had just lost the federal case, this Brian Kuchar person started a business with my name on it, That Surprise Witness LLC in Georgia. I don't know why he did that. Terrorism. I don't know why he did that. Abuse, bullying. I'm not really sure. Harassment. I'm not really sure why, what possessed that freak to do that, but he did. And then a few, a couple weeks later, he also tried to file for a restraining order in his state of Georgia. So all at once, I was dealing with amendments on this hand and that hand. There was people banging on my door trying to serve me at nighttime after the sun had set on a Saturday, and banging on my door hard as hell, trying to intimidate me. Printed out paper lawsuits on 300 pages of paper, cardstock, basically, huge box. I don't know who this woman is, why they're not just sending it electronically. Brian Kuchar's trying to get a restraining order against me in Georgia, dismissed completely, by the way. Also, the judge didn't even grant the temporary one in that case. And Lima's trying to get this temporary restraining order in California. So I'm fighting like all of this at once. A temporary restraining order in California, an amendment in federal court in New Jersey, a temporary restraining order that they're trying to get in Georgia and trying to make it permanent. All the while, they're doing all this gamesmanship. The lawyers are waiting until the last second before they give me note. I mean, it's literally throwing it at the wall, like Scientology fair game level type of shit that I was having to deal with. And I promise y'all, I do not make that much money on YouTube. I really don't. Actually, I left a job where I was making a lot of money, almost $200,000 a year, probably more than that after my bonus, because specifically I needed to do this type of work. This is my purpose. This is why I'm here. This is why the Lord put me here, or whatever. I'm here for this. So I had to be free to speak. And as soon as I'm trying to speak freely, here's this lady trying to silence me. And it couldn't have been not just, thank you, Tiago. And it couldn't have been just, okay, let me try this one defamation federal lawsuit, whatever, in New Jersey. And okay, I lost. Let me go back to the drawing board. No. As soon as she lost, that's whenever she started, in my opinion, retaliating, trying to get a temporary restraining order in California, lost, trying it again, which is literally, in my understanding of things, not even allowed under the law. So we had court yesterday. The judge ordered her to pay, nearly $90,000 US dollars to my lawyers. Now that will be made payable directly to my lawyers, which makes sense because it's attorney's fees. That's the point. So it makes sense. But just so y'all know, the amount of money that has been racked up in attorney's fees to defend myself for, and judges have now agreed, First Amendment protected stuff, judges plural in different states, different jurisdictions, is well into the $300,000 range. So they're all broken up, right? Like, I don't exactly know like what the exact breakdown is, because it's all just the same. Like, it's all just Lima trying to silence me and Lima's, friends and pals. Now, I do want to make a couple more videos on these friends and pals, because of course, y'all know I've done research, and I found some stuff, and it's all public record. So we're going to be getting into it. And what I'm hoping is Lima and her lawyer just wise up. They just realize that this is a bad idea. Judges, courts have agreed. Their little fair game gamesmanship that they've tried, it just didn't work. And, just learn what the First Amendment is in the United States of America and move on with your life. Move on with your life. Because now I got at least at least 87,000 of the dollars in attorney's fees and costs going to pay those attorneys, but that's not even a third. That's not even a third of the total cost in this case. And I've had discussions with a few people about this in my personal life, and a couple of them have said some things along the lines of like, wouldn't it be just easier if you just gave it up? Like, there's nothing else you can get. There's nothing else you can win. You've won resoundingly every single legal thing that she's thrown your way. You keep winning. She keeps losing. Now she owes money. And to those people, I kind of said, yes, my life would be easier. Sure, it would be easier. I would sleep better at night if I wasn't worried about being harassed and bullied with vexatious, frivolous, meritless litigation. Sure, I'm ready to plan my wedding and start a family. None of those things can I do. I can't plan my wedding. I can't have a baby. I'm 33 years old. Yes, I'm ready to, start my family planning in the next year or 2, 3 maybe. And I can't do that because I am in debt for exercising my freedom of speech. I am in over my head in debt in legal bills, specifically because I was trying to tell the public that they were not told the truth to about how somebody died. Somebody who asked them for money for that treatment didn't tell them a true statement about how that person died. I'm trying to tell y'all that public records indicate Dahlia Takali accused her and Lima's mother of sex trafficking and no one's done anything about it. I can't get my life going to the next step because of this lawsuit. I don't have the money to do it. I don't have the money to responsibly bring a child into this world because of these lawsuits, directly because of these lawsuits. And so, yes, my life would be a lot easier, a whole lot easier if maybe, I could reach some settlement, or if maybe I would just stop, talking about what I'm allowed by the Constitution to talk about. But I told those people, and I'll tell y'all here, wouldn't it have been easier for the people who were throwing tea over the side of the boat in the Boston Harbor if they hadn't have done that? Wouldn't it have been easier for all of the freedom fighters, the whistleblowers, the give me liberty or give me deathers out here? And wouldn't it have been easier for them too? Yeah, if they just backed down. But where would that have left us today? What would our landscape look like today? Who would we be subservient to today if we had done that? And that's kind of what it is, and I really do believe that I am walking in my purpose. I know to some of y'all that sounds corny. That's fine. But that's really what keeps me going, is I believe this is my duty. I've been given a lot of talent, gifts, skills, blessed with this education. I grew up in a trailer on a bayou. My parents were teenagers when I was conceived. My dad didn't finish the 9th grade, and he overdosed on meth in 2017. Okay. So it's very unusual that I've had the opportunity to go and even be educated at the institutions I have, much less Ivy League law school, the place where the first law classes in the whole country were ever taught. So I have to do it. I have to keep going. I would appreciate if y'all could donate to the legal fund. I also have Cash App and all that. If you cannot afford it, please don't. And don't feel guilty if you cannot. A like, a share, a comment is helpful as well if you want to help, if you're so inclined. These are the reasons I'm doing it. This is what I do it for, and this is where we are in it. What other issues? Let's see. I think that's pretty much all I really had to say for today's video. I wanted to update y'all. Now, there is another court hearing coming up because Lima's lawyers, I don't know if I told y'all this, Benjamin Kanani, based in California, LA, Beverly Hills, maybe area, somewhere up there. Not puzzled. Thank you so much for the super chat. Scientology plays ads on SPTV creators' channels. I'd love an ad for virtual reality hell to play on soft white underbelly, no jumpers, Steve-O swoop. That would be funny. Yeah, no, and thank you so much for that super chat. This is something I actually was thinking about the other day. I was like, I wonder if I did like a billboard about virtual reality hell, or with a, I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day. So it is something to think about. I appreciate you bringing that up. So yeah, I mean, that's really my purpose. That's really my point. Now, Lima's lawyer, Benjamin Kanani, failed to actually even give my lawyer notice, or me notice, that they were planning to file another restraining order in California, which was wholly not allowed. Like, I don't know how they were allowed to even do that. But they did not give me notice. They did not give my lawyers notice that they were going to be filing that. And so the judge made a decision on it without my input, frankly, without me having due process, which is another constitutional protection that's been stripped away from me as an American citizen. So because Lima's lawyer failed to provide me or my lawyers with notice of this temporary restraining order, the second one he tried to file in California, he also failed to give us notice about after at any point to serve us for he was going to let the court date come and go. And if we wouldn't have somehow found out about this case, who knows? Maybe the judge would have just granted it. Maybe that was their friend, that judge. He surreptitiously, secretly filed this filing, and never to this day, I think actually maybe this morning, but all the way through the hearing itself happened, and he never gave me notice. So what that did was, thank you so much, Mel G, for the $100 super chat. I really appreciate it. Exactly. He doesn't lie. And this is my opinion. My opinion is he knows exactly what he's doing, because what the functional outcome was, Thank you, Jacob Fakori, for the super chat. You can do Cash App. You can do anyway, whatever y'all like. Thank you, Mom. You forgot if you fought for your rights, exposing and shutting down the rich bullies and blazing the way for real freedom of speech for everyone. Proud mama right here. Oh, that's sweet. Thanks, Mom. I know. I was just talking to somebody about this today. So we do have one more hearing coming up, and that is because yesterday at the hearing, my lawyer was prepared to make his arguments, which I don't exactly, I don't want to get into all the exact arguments and all that, but he was prepared to make his arguments. And unfortunately, because Lima's negligent lawyer failed to give us notice, the procedure wasn't set up properly or appropriately for my lawyer to argue in my defense. And it's just one of those technicality kind of like red tape things that is why a lot of people use litigation to abuse people, because I think, this is just an opinion, but I speculate and believe and think that Lima and her lawyers miscalculated. They didn't think that I was going to hire really competent, really good lawyers. I think they thought I was going to try and defend myself, which if it was just something little, I would have. But the problem is, first of all, she sued me in federal court. I don't know nothing about federal court. I don't know anything about that. And when I was practicing as a lawyer, which I am not, I was in corporate law. I wasn't doing litigation. If it was some little, small thing, maybe. But even these temporary restraining orders that she's attempted to get, one of which has been stricken because it was filed in violation of California's anti-SLAPP statutes, she's requesting thousands of dollars from me in attorney's fees, such that if I had lost them, I would owe her. She's now requested $70,000 total. 20 on the first one, 50 on the second one. Another thing happened in court yesterday is her lawyer said that she can't afford her lawyers. And it's like, then stop filing frivolous lawsuits. It's very simple. Stop filing frivolous lawsuits that put you at risk for having to pay somebody else's attorney's fees. It's very simple. I think even if she could have said at first, like, oh, she didn't understand the First Amendment, she's had ample time to understand it now. Ample time to understand it now. Wow, this is awesome. Coffee on Zitelli says, BJ, I just settled a major lawsuit against a Goliath, and it's thanks to you. Well, good. That's good. Thank you for letting me know. No, she's never gonna need a penny from me. And so I think it's just kind of like, she needs to just bow out gracefully at this time. She needs to go on her channel. She needs to just tell the truth, say every exact thing what happened, be straightforward about it. Don't embellish. And I think that'll get her a really far way. It'll get her a long way with the public. You'll get her a long way with me. Just say why. That's all I'm wondering. That's all I'm wondering. Why, when she came out and said stuff about Amanda Rabb's cause of death, it didn't match up word for word of what we got from the autopsy. Why? I still haven't seen a satisfactory explanation. I still haven't. And, would my life be easier if I didn't have all this stress and headache? Sure. But, that could be said about a lot of people in the past who, y'all think Rosa Parks' life would have been easier if she would have just sat on the back of the bus? Probably. But somebody had to do it. Somebody had to be the Rosa Parks. Somebody had to sit in the front of the bus. A black person had to, a person of color. Someone had to. Someone had to sit at those lunch counters. Someone had to do that. I'm not advocating for violence. I'm advocating for our constitutionally protected rights. It's not like and again, I'll be very clear. I do this a lot. I say it a lot. I just want to be very clear. You see it down there and all that. I don't advocate for violence, and anyone participating in violence of any kind, any sort, as a means to get their, point across or their rights protected or whatever. On the whole, I just have to say I can't endorse it or condone it. It's not something I do. I am not resorting to violence. I have not resorted to violence, and I have asked y'all repeatedly, do not go and contact anybody I mentioned in my videos. Do not go and be mean, especially. But I've even said, y'all, don't even leave a nice comment, because that's not the point. The point is, I need to answer, why did she lie? Or why did she not tell a truthful statement about the cause of death? And I also would like people to know that this woman didn't tell the truth. That's it. I would like to see some investigations. Yes, I would. I would like to see some investigations by the CIA, the FBI. I would like to see some investigations by the Department of Homeland Security. I sure would. The state of California, that would be nice. Oh, into the probate court that allowed this to happen would be nice. Into the rehab where Amanda passed away, that would be nice. An investigation into Amanda Rabb's death would be nice because it looked like her potassium levels were astronomically high. I'm not sure if that could have caused the cardiac arrhythmia. Again, I don't know anything about this stuff because I'm not a professional, but I'm just asking questions that I'm allowed to ask. Yes, I am. I am not advocating for condoning, endorsing, asking, or encouraging violence or confrontation. I do not condone it. I do not encourage it, and I actively condemn it. Seriously, I'm not joking. I really mean it. Do not do that because you want to know why? Because it's not the right thing to do. That's first and foremost. But let's say that's not convincing and compelling to you. This woman has repeatedly attempted, and now under penalty of perjury, to use other people's actions, words, posts, behaviors, comments, as if it's something that I did, that I encouraged. And I've told y'all this before. She's tried to make it seem like any old random Tom, Dick, and Harry, random strangers on the internet who I've never spoken to, never met, never seen in public, are my responsibility. She said, oh, someone showed up to my house. Okay, well, I didn't tell them to show up to your damn house. Actually, I think there's like probably dozens of hours of me at this point giving disclaimers. Probably several at least. Like if you took all the disclaimers I gave, added them all up, there's hours and hours and hours of it. I know it. Just let me look how long I've just spent on disclaimers. And it is a little bit infuriating because I've operated in good faith. I've operated honestly and as someone who really does just want the right thing to happen. If they do investigations into this and say nothing's wrong, everything's above the belt, fine, whatever. I mean, maybe that's the case. I don't have all the information. But I'm not condoning violence. I'm not condoning anybody go do anything mean or untoward to anyone. And that is specifically why it's infuriating that still, even in this second temporary restraining order request, there's people filing declarations in here, like in support of Lima, who are saying, I doxed Lima because BJ told me to. First of all, I've never spoken to those people. Second of all, what they describe isn't doxing. And third of all, very glaringly and very importantly, Lima has someone filing a paper under penalty of perjury. Penalty of perjury, a crime. Perjury is a crime. So under penalty of being charged with perjury, there's people saying that they have broken the law by harassing and doxing Lima. And yet, she has not pursued restraining orders against those people. Can you sort that out for me? People saying under penalty of perjury, they stalked, harassed, and doxed Lima. And she's not going after them for their actions. She's going after me. Does that make sense to you? Especially considering the fact I've never spoken to these people. And they tried. Yes, they did. Because I think it was a big old setup. And we'll be talking about it in my declaration. I think it was a big old conspiracy because I'm a conspiracy theorist. And it's just my opinion. I don't know. But it's my speculation. It was a setup. The whole That Surprise Army. Remember how that went straight into left field immediately? And I had to make a whole video to y'all saying, don't join nobody's army. Okay? Because I never once logged into that Discord. They were going to try and act a damn fool and blame it on me. And my senses are too good. I'm born to do this. This is my purpose. Y'all are fucking with the wrong one. I'm damn near a psychic. And if you didn't want to believe me before, I bet you do now. Because do y'all remember that? Comment a red flag in the chat. Red flag in the chat if you remember me coming on here and saying, I don't endorse a Discord. I have never been in that Discord. I'm sure some of the people in the Discord are sweet, but I cannot put my name behind that because those people do not know how to act. Do y'all remember me saying that? Red flag in the chat if y'all remember it. Yep, I see the red flags. Oh, yes. Look at this. This is funny. CN red flag. So I knew that surprise army was a setup, always was. I knew it. The random people, and another thing too, one of the people didn't file a declaration. Smart. They probably shouldn't. But one of the people in this ring, what in my opinion, was too obvious. Too obvious with it, because this person would not talk at all about the case. They only would talk about me. And then there was another one that seemed to have no idea who I was, what I was about, and was just like making random. It was almost as if these people were being incentivized or paid in some way to make these videos, but they weren't bothering to do the research of actually figuring out what in the hell I was saying, because it was like pretty much nonsensical. They were doing face painting rituals, saying hail Dave, hail this and that. It was very weird. I got Lima on video calling one of them during a live stream. Yes, I have that video saved, so you might as well not delete it now, because just because I don't say stuff publicly about what I know that y'all are doing does not mean that I don't see it. Okay, so it'll all be coming out in declarations, but all that to say, people are admitting to breaking the law, doing crimes, committing crimes. People are admitting to crimes under penalty of perjury, and Lima's not going after them. But instead, she's calling them and telling them how sweet they are during a live stream. Does that make sense to y'all? Only if it's criminals. That's all I'm saying. It's just my opinion. I don't know. Innocent till proven guilty. But we might even be able to read some of these declarations. I got to go through them. I got to sit through them and do all that today. But yeah, I mean, whatever the case may be. And I gotta be honest, gotta admit, I do not have the money to pay these lawsuits. I don't. It will be in my best financial interest to try and settle these lawsuits with Lima, because I don't have the money. Just like she's crying in the court talking about she don't have the money to pay her lawyers, I actually really don't. Because a year ago, she was talking about how Ara was going to make $50 million last year. So I don't know what the real truth is, where, if she's got money, if she don't. I don't have money for these lawsuits, but I know what my purpose is, and I know why I'm here. And if nobody sits at the front of the bus, if nobody actually exercises the rights that we have, we will lose them. All of us. You will lose them, your children will lose them, and your grandchildren won't even know they ever existed. Am I right or am I right? So I put my body, my life, my literal life on the front lines for this. And that's why I'm doing it. I would rather, for my personal interest, be having a child, be planning my family. It's time, it's Valentine's Day. It brings it to mind. Family members are having babies. It makes me sad. I'm ready to get married and have a wedding. I cannot afford to. I cannot afford the wedding that I want because of these lawsuits, but I'm going to still keep fighting. I refuse. Screen record this part. Put this one in an exhibit. I refuse to allow people's attempts to chill my speech, to actually successfully chill my speech. I refuse. Because what am I look like bringing a baby into this world where there's no freedom? What do I look like bringing a baby into this world whenever I know you can't say the damn truth online when you say, it's my opinion, please don't contact these people, please don't say anything to them, please, if you call the police to report anything, do it peaceful. If you can't say that in the United States of America, then we need to reorganize what it is we actually think about what America even is. The United States of America even is. If you can't even say the truth about your opinion, if you can't even report to people what's in a public record and take extra care to redact out social security numbers, to blur out people who are in vulnerable positions, you can't even do that, then where are we living? I ain't even going to say it because you already know. Now, I know that Lima wasn't born in this country. I'm not sure about her husband, Ivan Yevremovich. I know that his parents do have roots in Serbia, former Yugoslavia. I know that Mark Leite's parents are Lithuanian, but I just would like to offer it up in case anybody came here so young that they didn't have to take the citizenship test. The First Amendment allows people to express their opinions on issues of public concern, especially whenever those issues concern public figures like Lima and Mark Leta and Dahlia and Dia, especially when the issues come from public records. I don't know if y'all missed that question on the citizenship test. I'm really not sure. But we have the First Amendment here. And now you've learned 3 times in court what it is. So what I would suggest is you take the 3 L's, you drop the current lawsuit because your lawyer's going to get sanctioned for it, and they're going to owe me more money. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And yeah, I would like to move on from this. It would be nice. It would sure be nice. And as you probably noticed, I've pulled back from talking about it so much because my whole point the whole time has always been what I don't want is for this to turn into some kind of me versus Lima. It's the truth versus the not truth. I don't want to be talking about a lawsuit. I want to be talking about where's Dahlia. I want to be talking about where is what's the lies on the cause of death about? Why hasn't the true statement ever come out? Where's the investigation? Why wasn't anybody taking a statement? I'm not even saying they had to believe Dahlia. They could have took a statement from Dahlia, took her away in handcuffs. Why did that happen? Why were the police officers kind of low-key conspiring with Linda Omar to keep this public record from the public in the body camera? I mean, this is what I would rather be talking about than a lawsuit. Yes, it is. So this is where we are. This is how it's turned out. And thank you very much to the people who have donated in the super chat. I mean, it is overwhelming. I mean, I grew up in it. Like I said, I grew up in a trailer on a bayou. I got financial aid because I was broke and poor in college and law school. I got financial aid. I've never had money. I've never been a moneyed person. And just as soon as I started to get a little bit of financial enrichment from my efforts in this realm, in this life, I had to quit my job because Britney Spears' business manager wanted to silence my speech. And then I just, went off to YouTube where I thought I was safe to say my opinion. Apparently, I guess not, because here's people suing me for no damn reason over and over. And lying in court documents and having other people lie in court documents. It's enough. Drop the damn, act is all I need to say. I was in that Discord and I was dumb enough to think it was people who were honestly on your side. Wish I never was. Thank you for the super chat too, Toasty. And you're not alone. There was a lot of people in those Discords. And I even told y'all, I'm not going to tell somebody they can't do something. It goes against what I'm about. I want y'all to go and do what you want. Say what you want, where you want, on the platform you want. I really wanted that. But I wanted y'all to know where I stood on it because I didn't want anybody saying, oh yeah, this is endorsed by BJ. There was another lunatic, in my opinion, who is, in my opinion, conspiring with Lima to manufacture fake evidence, in my opinion, innocent until proven guilty, who advertised all over Instagram that she was going to go to the Tulsa, Oklahoma apartment building where Dahlia was living in that body camera footage. And she was going to go on an apartment tour. Now, to be clear, according to court records, Dahlia did not live there anymore at the time. According to court records, according to Linda and Lima and all of them. Okay. So it wasn't like Dahlia actually even lived there. And who the hell am I to tell a grown woman, a stranger to me, a stranger, not to go and do an apartment tour? I'm nobody to tell somebody not to do that. But I had a feeling, a tinfoil hat intuition, that this was some kind of weird ass setup. It was like a weird setup is what I felt like. And so I commented on that person's post. I said, don't go to that apartment building. Do not do that. And then I even said, I think, I encourage you to do whatever you want to do. You're a grown woman. But like, if you think that I somehow am telling you to go over there, I am not. And I would prefer if you did not. Then I DM'd the person. So I said it publicly and privately. Don't go there. And then the girl tells me in DM, LOL girl, I already went. So she already went. So I already caught her in a little bit of a lie because she was saying, I'm going to go. Publicly on the post, she said she was going to go. But then privately in DMs, she said she already went. And I was like, okay, like, and like you, Toasty, I wasn't 100% sure on if this person really had my best interest. She attempted to ingratiate herself to me by expressing common interests. Like, she claimed to be from Louisiana, which maybe she was. She claimed to be really into the Wim Hof breathing method, which is something that I like to do. And so she attempted to befriend herself, to ingratiate herself to me. She attempted that. She even had one of my mods at the time contact me and say, oh, this girl has all this good information. You should talk to her. You know what I told the mod? I ain't talking to no new friends. Nope. Because anybody I talk to is a liability until after this lawsuit is over. Want to know why I said that? Because I knew it was a setup in my mind, in my opinion. And maybe I'm an insane schizophrenic lunatic, girl. Maybe I am. But so far, I've pretty much been right about stuff that has been verified. You know what I mean? So this girl said, I'm going to go do an apartment tour of Dahlia Takali's apartment. I told her publicly, comment in the chat if you saw that Instagram post and you saw me telling her, don't do that. I know Monica did. We talked about it. I said, don't do that. Not that I'm in the business of telling people what to do, but you better not do that because, and I went in the DMs and I told the girl and I said, because I'm not trying to tell you what to do. Specifically, the issue is if you go over there, Lima will use it against me in a lawsuit. She's going to say I was sending people to harass her. I said that. I'll show y'all the text. I'll show y'all the DM on my next video. Or maybe, I wanted this video to be 20 minutes long and here we are. But that girl, that person who went and did that apartment tour again, I told her don't go do that. And then she said, oh, I already did. Then why'd you say you were going to go do it? That person is telling a court under penalty of perjury. Perjury is a crime, just to remind y'all. Under penalty of perjury, that person has sworn that I sent them to an apartment, to Dahlia or to Lima's address. It's false. It's a false statement. It's not true. And in fact, I specifically said, do not go there. And when I did say that, the person then came out and said, oh, I already went. So then why'd you lie, girl? There's boom, credibility problem number one right there. That's going to definitely go in my declaration. Let me get some of these super chats. Who else? Okay. Timmy, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh my God. Even though you have a clown, I'm going to fight with clowns right now, but thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Deborah, for the super sticker. Toasty, I saw you tell her on Insta, but I didn't know she was the same person in Discord, but I wasn't looking closely enough. And that's the thing. It was kind of like a group of 3 to 5 people who were really popped out of nowhere. One of the people was around for a while, and I know some of y'all were talking to these people, and I don't hold it against y'all because the ones who have stayed around and stuff, like, I know y'all have been around, and I know y'all are probably thinking y'all are doing something to help me. I'm not upset about it at all. But there was a group of people who, I think 3 come to mind right now, who I kind of suspected were frankly bad actors. I have no solid evidence for it, but I will be collecting it and putting it together, and it'll be filed under penalty of perjury as well. But this is the level of ops that I'm dealing with. Not only the malicious litigation that is abusive, not only the harassment through litigation, California, New Jersey, Georgia, California, again, all of this, there's these bot accounts that, in my opinion, don't do nothing all day except tweet about me. Lies in court, all of that. On top of all of that, then there's all this other shit with people planting evidence. And I know I told y'all about that time somebody sent me what appeared to be pornographic videos of somebody mentioned in this case. I believe it was fake. I believe it was a deep fake, but I believe it was to entrap me, to trick me into sharing that because it is a public record. It is a public record. But I think it was to trick me into sharing it so that she could then say, I revenge corned her, which for the record, I would never do, even if I believed it was real. Not because it's a crime, but because it's wrong. I wouldn't do that because what she's doing is her business as far as that's concerned. I'm concerned with the other people's lives she's affected. If she wants to do that with her own personal business, that's her, choice. Also, thank you for the super Chat, what is Python? You are not being crazy. There are an insane amount of profiles either mimicking your name or doing insane things, quote, for you. Exactly. New posts on Reddit I found today are still using these tags. And again, I just want to reiterate, I don't know a damn thing about a That Surprise Army. It wasn't started by me. I never was a participant. If you'll notice, I never was in one of those live chats. I never was in one of those live streams. I never was. I did share High Priestess Steph's videos early on, and even hers, I stopped sharing because I don't really know. I don't know. Now all her videos are gone. So, I mean, girl, I don't know. I mean, reach out or whatever if something, you know, could explain that. But it's true. There are an insane amount of profiles mimicking me and doing crazy stuff like doxing, harassing, and all of that. And I know for a fact they're not doing it because I told them to do it. Because if they actually watched my videos, they would know that I have said repeatedly ad nauseum to a point where it's actually infuriating, frustrating, and aggravating not to do that. So that's not me. Nope, and I don't. I saw it, Lucy said. People got money, they can do anything. Yep. Yeah. I don't know how she's affording these lawsuits if she don't have money. Yeah, and that's the thing. If there was footage or imagery of me out there like this, they would share it. Absolutely, they would share it. And you know what? They would share it from their anonymous profiles so that there was no accountability or consequence from them. I don't do that. I don't have anonymous profiles. I'm going to say it with my face on the picture and let you decide for yourself, people. The people. Spear Queen. Thank you, Vamp. Diva, happy Valentine's Day to you. Thanks for touching on That Surprise Army stuff. It's been hard on the ones who didn't mean any harm. Signing off. Enjoy the rest of the live, everyone. Toasty Cap. Thank you again for the super chat. Thank you, Not Jesh, for the super chat as well. Yeah, no, I mean, this is another issue, is that she claims that I doxed her by reposting and reporting on public information that she herself made public. She herself put her home address as her business address. That was her choice. And so me sharing something that is already available to the public and still further redacting it a lot of the time, after she had said she had already moved out of that house, is doxing. However, she can put my home address on the first damn line of a lawsuit. How's that not doxing? Because I didn't use my home address as my business address. She went found that. And you know how she found it? Probably just Google. Everybody's address is on Google. Everybody's address on Google. I just found Eugenia Cooney's yesterday. Wasn't looking for it. I don't encourage anyone to do that. What can people do to help on the sidelines? I would just reiterate, nobody needs to send any comments, any hate, any nice comments, anything to these people. Reporting this to your local authorities, reporting the allegations of human trafficking to the Department of Homeland Security and to human trafficking hotlines, I think would go a long way. Doing your own research, your own investigation. I've said this before, I'll say it again. They can try to silence me. I'm going to fight like hell till my last moment, till my last breath. I will use my last breath if I have to, fighting like hell. But if they silence me, I'm not sure who else is going to pick up the mantle and talk about this story. And I think that it is an issue of public concern. Courts have agreed with me, plural, a federal court and one in California. From the side, liking and sharing this content, these videos, things like that. I would just encourage people not to get too deep into any armies or anything like that. But I'm not telling y'all not to, because again, I want you to do what you want to do. But no, I don't know why. What Monica said. Don't engage with Lima or anyone you might think is working with Lima. And I would just not engage. Like I don't want or desire anyone to argue or fight with troll accounts on my behalf, because what effect that actually has is to amplify their message and gets it out to more people. I'm totally fine with those 5 accounts run by the same 3 people being in an echo chamber. And the thing is too, like, I know I have legitimate haters as well. I don't think every single hater or troll is a hired bot or a hired plant or Lima or something. I think some people really don't like me, and that's just part of it. Whenever you are a freedom fighter, when you're an advocate, when you're an activist, and whenever you are pushing back against the status quo, especially rich and powerful people, you're going to get haters, and they're going to be actually haters. That's fine. I don't need anybody defending me from haters. I really don't. And so I don't want anybody feeling like y'all need to fight for me or on my behalf in the comment sections or in the tweets. What that actually does is amplifies their message. Some trolls, if they are getting paid, just so you know, some trolls get paid per response. They'll get a bonus if you respond to them. So it's like, I don't really think it's even worth doing that. And I would say don't do it for many reasons. And maybe even primarily because I will be blamed for it. Even though it's bullshit, even though it's ridiculous, even though it's stupid, they will blame me for it. And then I'm going to have to be fighting against it in court when I really would rather be doing something else. You know what I mean? That's all I really, and I'm not saying anything bad about staff. I don't know. All I'm saying is because for me, it got to the point where I couldn't tell who was a bad actor, who wasn't. Who was working with Lima, who was getting calls from her in the middle of their live streams while they were doing face paint rituals. I just had to say, like, I can't endorse or condone any armies, I mean, I think it's weird that they call themselves an army in a way, but not really, because it's like, we called ourselves the Britney Army. But in court, that's now been twisted into being like, oh, armies are like people with weapons and stuff. And it's like, it just kind of further confirms my theory, my speculation, innocent until proven guilty, that this is all just manufactured. And it's because I haven't done anything wrong. So it was like, oh, let's send fake PORN. Let's send actual private information. Let's do deranged shit and say BJ told us to do it, although there's no proof I ever told anybody to do that because it doesn't exist, because I never did. So I think it's just they expected, my thoughts, just my speculation, they expected that I would fall into some of these traps that were, in my opinion, set by them, in my opinion. I don't know. It's just a speculation. I really don't know. And when I did not fall into these traps, now it's like, let's just throw every damn thing at the wall. But unfortunately for them, they're, 90,000, 87 or something $1,000 in the hole at this point. And I absolutely intend to do exactly the same thing in this case as I did in the first one and get fees again. And hopefully sanctions against Benjamin Kanani, who has, as of the hearing date yesterday, had not given me notice or served me with this restraining order, with this restriction, this injunction on my rights, trampling of my rights. A lawyer is doing this for his client and not giving notice, not giving me my due process rights to defend myself. Now I'm going to have to come out more money of my pocket to go to another hearing. I'm going to have to pay lawyers more money for this, and I don't have it. So if you could so kindly as to donate to the legal fund, if you have it, if you have extra $1, extra $5, 100% of money donated to the legal fund linked in the pin comment, in the pin live stream, 100% that goes to the GoFundMe goes straight to the lawyers. I mean, GoFundMe takes a few cents out and stuff, but if you donate to the GoFundMe for legal fund, 100% goes straight to my lawyers. I even have a separate bank account for the GoFundMe funds. So that's where that's going to go. Now, if you donate through Cash App or something else like that, those are hooked up to my personal bank account. I can't assure 100% if you do it through Cash App, you do it through whatever, because I don't want to take money from my account, my personal account, and put it in. So if you want to make sure 100% goes straight exactly to the lawyers, I would recommend donating to the GoFundMe legal fund. That is linked in the comments below. Thank you, Bright Grace, for the super chat. Also, the Discord was never called that surprise army. Another lie they've told under penalty of perjury. Thank you for pointing that out, because I wouldn't know. Discord turned out to be 10% real ones and 90% trolls. And thank you, Brett, for pointing this out, because I have been almost afraid to say my true speculation. First of all, because she's going to hold it against me as if I'm saying something I'm not. And second of all, because I've been a little afraid that y'all are going to think I'm like, frankly, schizophrenic. They use this against people. Bam's schizophrenic. Amanda's schizophrenic. Dahlia's schizophrenic. Well, maybe there's other explanations for why they're making some of the allegations they're making, and it ain't schizophrenia. But if they can act like someone's crazy, then everything that person says is called into question. So Brett Grace was in the Discord and says it turned out to be 90% of them were trolls. Divine Vigor said, I know the truth and I will be emailing you. And thank you for the super chat, and I'll be looking forward to your email. I know y'all all have bills to pay. I know. And if you cannot afford to donate to the legal fund, I'm not mad at anybody. And if you can, out of the, extra and goodness of your heart, I really do appreciate it. Everybody has bills to pay. It's hard out here for everybody. And I am not disagreeing with that. Actually, please do not donate. Again, I want to reiterate, if you are short on money and stuff like that, I don't want anybody, using their last $5 for the legal fund or anything. If you're on disability or something like that, I don't need you giving me your disability checks. That's, no matter what happens, I'm going to be taken care of. I strongly believe that I'm divinely protected and I will be provided for one way or another. So I don't want anybody to go without. So I understand y'all have bills to pay, and that's fair. And if you don't have it, please do not donate it. I'm actually shaking typing these messages. These people are lost. You are not schizophrenic. You and I both knew in October what was up with the Discord. A lot of people did. My family has dealt with this. Oh, my BF has dealt with this his whole life. By family, we all know who you are and what you represent. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. H, for the $20 super chat. Yeah, I say, yeah. And I mean it. I really mean it. I really do. I mean, like I said, I can't afford these legal bills. So obviously, I can't hold it against other people for not being able to. I mean, any money that I do make for the most part goes to back to my channel, back to my life needs. And a lot of it goes to these legal fees. And I have paid a lot. I have made a lot of payments. Okay. I've made large payments. But it's just nowhere near enough. It's just nowhere near enough because she keeps doing it. She keeps abusing me with the litigation. Yeah. I'm on disability, and that's precisely why I donate, because you're advocating for people like me. And I do appreciate it, but I just want to be clear, that's the disability funds are for you to use for your needs, and you should use them for you. If you don't have what you need, I would rather you go with than to donate it with me, It did get weird. Just did a live with another woman, felt a tad uncomfortable where the tone of the vids were just stuck on supporting you. It kind of started giving like love bombing a little, if you know what I mean. But again, Steph, just to be clear, she didn't submit a declaration, and she actually did email me before saying like some along the lines of, I wasn't fully aware of everything that was going on and stuff like that. So I've never had anything but good interactions with her. She never specifically like did anything to me, said anything to me, anything like that. It was just that the people she was having on her channel and stuff like that, those were the people that were giving me bad vibes, and ended up being one of them, ended up actually filing a declaration for Lima that has untrue statements in it under penalty of perjury. So my instincts on that person were right, but that doesn't mean that Steph did something wrong. And if Steph were to come back and be making videos, I would support it and all that. It's not, I don't have anything against Steph. Actually, I like her. But that's just where I'm coming from with it, where it's like, you don't know when it's like a group of people who are making videos together, except, Brett Grace been back here. Brett Grace never left before, never left during, never left after. So of course I'm not thinking, and also Brett Grace, a real one, and been around for a while before any of the Lima stuff. I think Brett Grace been around since Brittany. And so it's like, people build their own credibility as well. And so just because y'all were in those chats and stuff, I don't think anything bad about you. I don't think anything bad about it, and I actually appreciate it because y'all were trying to help. Your first thought obviously isn't going to be, oh, this is set up and a bamboozle. No, there's no Discord. There is no Discord. A Discord does not exist. That's why I go live, and that's why I do premieres, because we can all talk here, and I have an email address. Now, if y'all want to start y'all's own Discord over there that's not associated or affiliated with me in any way whatsoever, I will not be logging on. I will not be participating, because I've seen way too many creators, influencers, commentators, etc., who get absolutely annihilated with these Discords one way or another. It seems to me like it's usually a setup situation, and I'm not about to try and walk into no trap. On top of the fact that then it becomes my problem, because then it's like, oh, there's people arguing in the Discord about you. Well, now I got to go say something? No, there's no Discord. And anybody saying that it's a Discord, that's their Discord for themselves. I do know that Fairy Bongmother did make a BAM, free BAM Discord a long time ago, but I don't think that one's as active. There is no Discord. You have to run it. Okay. Anyway, okay. So thank you again, everybody that did super chats. And if y'all want to donate to the legal fund, it's linked below. 100% donated to the legal fund link that I receive, right? I mean, GoFundMe takes a little bit, but it's not that much. I'll 100% of what I get is going to go straight to lawyers. And, people asking, well, what about what if we donate more than, your legal fees, or what if you get it back? I highly doubt it's going to be more than the legal fees. Cause like I said, I mean, we're approaching $500,000 territory at this point. It's like over 300,000 at this point. Lima was ordered to pay me, or to pay my lawyers, 87,000 or so. I've yet to see that money. They've yet to see that money. Who knows if she'll ever pay it? Who knows how it'll work out? Who knows whatever. In the event somehow it exceeds, I will announce it. If once we get to the point where that's enough, and once it gets to the point where all my legal bills have been paid, I will announce that to you, so that people are no longer donating to it. If somehow, some way, miraculously, I end up getting more money back, I will put all that money back into the legal fund bank account, a separate bank account that I set up for legal fund only, that no other money has gone into except legal funds. So if you're wondering about that, I've always said that. It's not news. It's not brand new, but just in case you didn't hear that before. Anyway, okay. That's all I have for today. Thank you, Oklahoma Outlaw. And yeah, I may be live later with Prim. Worst case, we'll be live tomorrow, but I'll let y'all know about that. Follow me on Instagram if you want to have the updates on that. That's all I really had for today. In the meantime, facts and opinions ain't defamation. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.